Alex said, I have this idea for this company called Gym Launch. Do you want to do it with me? And he pulled out a stack of contracts and we started processing contracts. He taught me how to use the CRM system. And at the end of it, we looked at like the grand total. It was something like $120,000. And in that moment, I was like, this works. And I said, you know what? I'll do it.
Could you take us from the gap between doing the sales for the personal training and the gym all the way up until now, I guess, or maybe not to now, but like through acquisition.com and gym launch and all that kind of stuff, like a snippet story so I can like dice between it?
So after I started doing personal training, because after I lost the weight and I stopped drinking, I said, I need to go be around people who are wanting more. And I felt like growing up in Portage, like it's not a bad town or anything, but if I want to make it as easy as possible for me to achieve my goals, is this the place I should be? And the answer is no. I would go somewhere like California if I wanted to achieve my goals. And so that's what I did. I packed up, I had a Prius. I packed up my Prius and I went on Craigslist, found a place, rented the place, and drove there. I want to say it's the day after I graduated college. I think it was the day after my last class because I didn't even walk my graduation. I was like, I'm fucking out of here. Drove to California. When I got there, I said, I'm just going to find a job within walking distance. So I literally walked to every gym within walking reasonable, like 35, 40 minutes. And I applied at all of them. And I said, I will work at one of these. And at that point, I didn't know what I wanted to do. But all I knew was I want to have some kind of business in fitness. I don't know what it is. I also know that I don't have the skills right now to start a business. So I'm going to go acquire those skills by working at different jobs. And I said, I'll start as a personal trainer. Maybe I'll work my way up, eventually be a manager, marketing, whatever. And so start as a personal trainer at 24 Hour Fitness. Then once I'd been there for a little over a year, I said, this is not for me because it's literally all sales. And then when you're not selling, you're training the clients you've sold. I took many of those clients and went to a small boutique gym. And the reason I went there is that I wanted to learn from the owner because I'd heard a few things that one, he was very, very good at sales and marketing. Two, he was a very good leader. I was like, oh, well, here I've been able to learn sales, but I haven't been able to learn marketing or leadership. Not really. In fact, they even offered me a management position at 24 Hour Fitness, and I said, no way, I don't want to do that. The thought of managing people at that time in my life was like, which is crazy to think now. So ended up going to this boutique gym. And then when I was there, I started at the same time that I was at that boutique gym training clients online. Facebook ads, Instagram ads were starting to work for fitness. You started seeing people pop up that were doing online training. And so I started taking on some online clients using like Instagram. I was at this place where I had discussion with the guy who owned the gym about like, would I ascend into manager? Would I be running the gym? What would it look like? And part of me was thinking like, maybe I should just start my own. And on the other side, I actually was approached by somebody online who said, let's go 50-50 and do an online business. And this person already had a successful one on her own. And so I was at this point where I felt like, what path do I want to take?
I hope you're enjoying this Leila Hormozi video. It was sponsored by mulliganbrothers.com, where site-wide right now is buy one, get one free across all t-shirts. The mission behind the clothing brand has always been to inspire change and to be able to deliver this content on YouTube for free. This support from you guys allows us to do exactly that and get our film crew out to Las Vegas to be able to go and film Leila Hormozi. So all t-shirts are buy one, get one free if you use code SALE at checkout. That includes the all new symbol designs, the Inspire Change t-shirts, the classics. Absolutely every single t-shirt in any combination is buy one, get one free using code SALE. Also, everything across the site is now discounted, from the hoodies to the posters, and yes, including the journal with some heavy discounts with a link in the description. Once this is gone, guys, it is gone. Thank you for supporting projects like this, and we promise to continue to deliver great motivation and great inspiration. Let's jump back into the video.
I met Alex on Bumble, and on our first date, I told him about this kerfluckle, whatever you want to call it, this decision that I had to make. And he was like, oh, you should do neither of those things. I was like, well, what would I do instead? He was like, you should work for me. And I was like, what? I was like, okay, this is weird. We're on a date. Like, why are you telling me I should work for you? And he said, because you'll learn more skills and you'll make more money than either of those options. And I remember being like, why is this guy doing this right now? Like, we barely know. I've said like 3 words. You're talking the whole time, you know, like, I'm like, what's going on? And it's funny because, you know, we ended up going on dates every day. We hung out every day for 3 weeks. And I told him to stop asking me for the first couple weeks. I said, this is just weird. Like, I just want to date. Like, let's just, whatever. And about 3 weeks in, Alex said, he said, you know, I have this idea for this company called Gym Launch. Do you want to do it with me? I was like, no, I'm doing my own stuff right now and I still don't know you very well. He said, okay, well, I'm going to go prove concept for this business. So I'm going to fly out to this guy's gym and I'm going to be gone for like a couple weeks. And I was like, okay. And he was like, can you like watch my gyms and house? And I was like, okay. And so I remember I stayed at his house at that time. And I went to his gyms and would like pick up the cash and deposit it in the bank. And like, I just did stuff for him while he was gone. I remember thinking like, I don't even know why you trust me to like take out all the money. This is odd. We've only known each other 3 weeks, but he said, he was like, I know that you wouldn't steal. And I was like, well, I wouldn't, so you're not wrong. And he left, he was gone for 3 weeks. He was basically trying out this concept of Gym Launch where we would sell people into these gyms. And we would do the marketing, we would do the sales. So it's like we would market for a gym, fly out to the gym, sit there at their front desk, do all the sales for the members, and then they would have the members to keep, and we would give the owner a percentage of the sales, but we would take most of it. So he did that for 3 weeks, and he would call me every night, and he'd be like, I remember it was FaceTime, but it would be pitch black because he was like in the dark, just so tired because he'd been there from 6 a.m. to usually like 8:30 or 9 p.m. And then you just do it again, right? And he would just be like, I went 6 for 6 today. I went 10 for 10 today. Like every day it was like a sales update almost. And then we talk about like, well, what could you do to get more people in? We were kind of like ping pong on like how you could get a better show rate of people, how you could close more people, like all these different things about the pitch and the script and all that. And it was kind of fun. And then I remember he was like, I'm coming back. Can you pick me up from the airport? So I picked him up from the airport and we went back to his house and he pulled out a stack of contracts and it was like this thick. And I was like, what's this? He's like, these are all the contracts from all the people I signed up for all the gyms. And I was like, you haven't put them in the system? What is this, like 1990? And he's like, oh no, usually somebody else does that. And I was like, oh God. He's like, if you can help me, then we can go on a date after. And I was like, oh. So I remember we sat down, he like poured me a drink, which I still at this point hadn't drank much before meeting him, so it was still a lot for me. And we started processing contracts. He taught me how to use the CRM system. And at the end of it, we looked at like the grand total, it was something like $120,000. And in that moment, I was like, this works. He was like, yeah. And I remember my second question, I was like, is it legal? And he was like, yes. And I was like, I don't know, it feels illegal for some reason. And I said, you know what? I'll do it. And I think my mentality at that point in time was like, what do I have to lose? I'm 23, 22, 23. And worst case scenario, I pick up back where I'm at right now, which is like I go back to a gym, I pick up, I tell my old clients I'm coming back, and I just do that, and then I go into one of the businesses I was thinking about. But this sounded like too much of an adventure to say no to. And so I had a week gap between me quitting the gym I was at and telling all my clients I was leaving them. And then I flew out 5 days later to Baltimore, Maryland to launch the first gym with Alex. And that was the start of what has now become Gym Launch.
Thank you so much for watching this highlight with Leila Hormozi. What an incredible story from working in a gym to selling Gym Launch. She's had an incredible entrepreneurial career and she's just getting started. Please go follow her with a link in the description. If you want to support us, you can become a channel member with the join button down below. And don't forget, today is sponsored by the end of summer sale at mulliganbrothers.com, where you can get the Inspire Change t-shirts, which help support the message, allows us to film all around the world and deliver these projects and documentaries. Thank you so much for watching. Have a blessed and productive day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace. Oh yeah, and the journal is also on sale. Go get it.